Hey guys, so I watched over the weekend. By the way, I'm not in America. I went to Montreal for the holidays, and I got to see a bunch of movies because I live in the middle of nowhere in America, so this was a luxury for me. I got to see The French Dispatch, Benedetta, but the movie I want to talk about with you guys is Come On, Come On, which is the movie I just came back from watching. I just arrived back from the cinema. I was anticipating this movie because it's by A24, and if you guys have seen any of my videos, I always drop A24. And it stars Joaquin Phoenix, and it kind of doesn't look like an A24 movie as well. A24 I usually associate it with like slow-paced horror movies, and this is something a little different. Yes, it still has that slower pace. Yes, it still feels very artistic, but it's definitely not the tone of a usual A24 movie. If you hear noise in the background, it's dogs. I apologize. I just wanted to get this video out. So what does this movie entail? Basically, you have a podcaster played by Joaquin Phoenix, and the gimmick of his podcast is that he interviews children, asks them these deep philosophical questions, and when his sister finds herself in trouble, he has to take care of his nephew. And the nephew is a little bit of a ruckusy kid, so to speak. So, what did I think of this movie? I thought this movie was really good. I was hoping this would be like the best movie of the year. It wasn't quite that, and neither does it try to be that. It's not a very grandiose movie, but it's rather a warm blanket. It's a hot apple pie, grandma's apple pie kind of movie. I felt very relaxed watching this movie, and I felt very philosophical watching this movie. And as soon as the movie is finished, I really wanted to revisit the movie again. The movie has a lot of dialogue with children giving their take, and the kids in this, they give a very natural performance when they're doing these podcasts. It kind of feels like they're doing a real podcast, which might be the case, I'm not too sure. But it feels very natural, and they offer a very unique perspective because these are children. They're wide-eyed, and they have a very unique perspective on things for that. And having that contrasted with the story of this movie, which is someone trying to take care of a kid that they're not really able to. Joaquin Phoenix lacks that experience. Joaquin Phoenix lacks that experience. I love saying that. Joaquin. Anyway, yeah, so the story is very good, and the overall theme of this movie, I feel, is talking about what world are we leaving our children. That could be from an environmental perspective. There's a lot of environmental themes going on, political, but also just the way we raise children. Are we raising children correctly? Are we allowing kids to be kids at the appropriate time? Are we spoiling kids? A lot of questions about leaving the earth to a next generation, and watching this relationship between Joaquin Phoenix and his nephew in this film, watching that relationship grow, I thought it was really interesting and it was really heartwarming. And I'm not one for the schmaltz, but this schmaltz worked in here because it doesn't really treat the audience like a dum-dum. Yeah, and that I'm gonna spoil the ending. The ending is what really made it for me, and the ending is what makes me want to watch the movie all over again. So I'm gonna spoil it. Turn the video off if you don't want spoilers for Come On, Come On. But yeah, so halfway through the film, there's a conversation that goes on between Joaquin Phoenix and his nephew, and he tells his nephew that you're not gonna remember any of this, because obviously he's young, and when you're young, the memories fade away when you get older. But then at the end, it kind of bookends it, and he basically immortalized the voice of his nephew through that podcast. And I thought that was just so heartwarming how they did that, and it really caught me off guard how emotional it got towards the end. And it's nothing too flamboyant at the end. It's not like someone dies in a horrible, bloody car crash, but it was just a beautiful bookend that tugged at my heartstrings. So yeah, go see Come On, Come On. It's a very heartwarming movie. One thing though, I'm still a little iffy on the black and white. I usually like black and white in movies, but here it kind of felt a little unnecessary. I could have done without it. I could have very well watched this kind of movie in color and still gotten the same experience. So I'm not really on board with the black and white. But other than that, just a solidly told movie. One of the dogs just fucking face planted. Yeah, just a solidly told movie, told very well. And I suggest you guys go see it. It's a limited release. Might be hard to find in your local theater, but give this one a shot. You'll really enjoy it. I'll see you guys around.